Welcome to Kick It Up a Notch, hosted by Megan and Jenny. We're here to bring you lively conversations, inspiring stories, and a little bit of everything in between. Whether it's life, business, or just a good laugh, we're turning up the energy and diving into what makes life extraordinary. Let's kick it up a notch. Welcome to another episode of Kick It Up a Notch. I'm Megan Thomas, and I am here not with my amazing co-host, Jenny McBride. She is out, but we are here with our first repeat guest, Miss Alicia Venson. Please make sure to go back and listen to her. She was one of our first episodes talking about her journey through diabetes. So we are the best realtors here in Evansville, Indiana, also entrepreneurs and all around pretty fun gals and knowledgeable on all hot topics happening in pop culture. We're so glad to have you back for another episode. Make sure you check out our past episodes and please listen, follow, and subscribe. So look, we are conductors of the Hot Mess Express today. And this episode, we are going to talk about some very groundbreaking hot topics, real important stuff. So thank you for being back again, Alicia.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to do this episode with you. I think I was just chosen because Jenny's out of town.
You are not here just
fine.
because of your availability. You are here because the audience demanded you back for another episode.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see.
And then we'll see after this one if they demand to never have you back on again. Oh my God, the hair today. Okay. We're good. We're cool. Everyone just listen to this episode. Don't watch it. So this is going to be a silly episode. It's going to be a fun episode. Jenny's gone, so it's our only time to be rowdy. While the cat's away, the mouse will play. So we are going to talk about some pop culture topics you have probably been hearing about if you have been on the internet anywhere. So we are going to start off with one gorilla versus 100 men. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like we need to add a soundbite. So it is a viral it's a viral hypothetical. It says it's resurfaced, so I don't know when it was originally on there, but can 100 unarmed men, unarmed, I think is the important part here, take down a silverback gorilla in a fight? Apparently there has been fake battle breakdowns and like AI simulations of this. I do have to say for the fans, this is a side note, I did use ChatGPT to outline this, and Jenny will like this. It says, pit your opinions against each other. Megan's practical side versus Jenny's chaos gremlin energy. So I do think that ChatGPT got Jenny and I mixed, but I'm also not a fan of the chaos gremlin energy it described either of us as having. Not a fan of that.
That's when your eye goes high. That's what that's called.
A fan of that. Gremlin. When I'm in my chaos gremlin era, everyone step back. Okay. So, Alicia.
Yes.
If it's one silverback gorilla versus 100 unarmed men, who's winning? Or what's winning?
Well, I think I would need to see these 100 men. Because are they scrawny and small? Are they getting 100 like muscle builders?
Do you think that would make a difference against a silverback gorilla?
Kind of, maybe. I think the gorilla's going to come out winning either way.
Okay, that's what we were getting at. Yeah, it for sure is.
It could either go really fast or it could prolong it.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
So
I feel like if they're pretty maybe stronger men, because the gorilla is super strong, they're all going to get worn out, but I think they could get it down.
That's what's interesting. I don't know the stamina of a gorilla.
Yeah.
That's what would be interesting, is that he would, I think, easily fly through those makes. I think he could literally just hit them out of the way. I don't know the stamina of a gorilla.
Yeah. And if I get into it more that I'm thinking about it, I think probably because 100 men that, each of them probably think that they're correct.
100 men's egos would never allow them to beat anything.
So I don't think
they would start beating each other.
Yeah, I don't think they could come to a plan on a way to attack the gorilla, however you want to say it. I don't think they could come to one
100
plan. So I think,
100%.
yeah, I don't think that 100 of them could come to one plan to be able to take the gorilla down.
I think that is the most accurate discussion up for debate, is that could 100 men
Yeah.
work well enough together to focus on fighting the gorilla and not each other?
Yeah.
That is a lot of testosterone amped up because you're about to fight a gorilla. And then what is the process? Like, are someone distracting the gorilla while other people are behind it? Because I've heard people say, well, you'll just grab its arms. How are you grabbing this gorilla's arms?
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to take multiples of you, and he's going to see you coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
not just one man can grab each arm. You'll
Yeah.
get flinged. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
And then do they get a chance to even try to like talk about this, or do they just like, oh, here's 100 of you, here's the gorilla, go? Or do they get a chance to plan a little bit before they go in with the gorilla?
How much planning would take place? Yeah.
Yeah.
How much preparation? I do think that would be too much of an advantage over the gorilla.
Yeah.
Because he's
definitely.
not getting to plan.
Mhm.
Okay. I want to know how exposed this gorilla is to people. Is it a silverback gorilla in the zoo used to humans?
Mhm.
And he might be like, la, 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 it's lunchtime. I want to eat these people, but they seem kind of cool. So he's off guard.
Yeah.
Or is this a fully undomesticated, out in the wild, there's a lot of you, I'm coming after you kind of situation? I've watched Tarzan, the animated version, and that silverback gorilla of that group didn't seem too fond of human. He was not a fan of Tarzan.
No.
So
No. I don't think any gorillas are fans of humans by any means.
And the important part is unarmed. Like, they don't get weapons.
Yeah.
They just get to use their barreled monster arms. Or scrawny arms. We don't know what kind of man that is.
We don't know.
Any man, no offense, any man in skinny jeans, put them in the front of the pack. Just let that gorilla get them out of the way.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to bend well. You're not going to be able to be very mobile. That gorilla doesn't want to listen to your folk song. You want to sing it on the guitar. So go ahead and, skinny jean boys, go on and just get out of there.
Yeah.
And go ahead and get out of there.
Yeah. So it would just be interesting. I think I would need more. I mean, I think the gorilla is going to win either way.
But yeah, like the Mike Tyson fight. How long is it going to last?
Yeah. I mean, because if you put like 100 probably like pretty fit or, stronger men in there, it may, might be a little bit of a show to actually watch.
I don't think they could withstand a punch from a gorilla.
Oh, they'll just get knocked out for a little bit.
I mean, then at what point does he start eating? Yeah. I don't think eat you, but like bite you. Like, because you got to think, it's their muscle, it's their teeth, it's their strength. Again, stamina is a big one. And I mean, you better hope you're in an open field and not a wooded area, because that bad boy's got climbing skills on you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So,
I mean, we know how King Kong ends. So,
yeah, exactly.
Do we think, because we mentioned planning, we mentioned being able to work together as a group, how do we think 100 women would do?
Probably not as well. Probably not well. Probably not.
Yeah. I think if we're being honest.
Yeah. If we're being honest, 100 women. I mean, I think in a situation like that, I mean, everybody has their like initial instincts
to run.
Yes, but in this situation, you probably can't run.
I got 99 other people by me. I'm running.
Well, it depends. Like, are you in this enclosed?
Oh, like
Coliseum?
Greek, yeah, like Greek, gladiator situation.
Like, is that what they do? Yeah. So they let the gorilla out the one door, and then the 100 men or people come out this other door. So you really don't.
And we assume PETA's not a thing. We assume they're not going to let this show go on. So we just assume they're not an active group because they're not letting any of this happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think maybe there might be a better chance of a plan being formed with females.
Do you think the monkey wouldn't sniff so much testosterone? So maybe, well, he's not very motherly. We would mother the gorilla.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, he'd be like, oh, 100 women. We'd be like, oh, you look so good. Look at those big arms and muscles. You're so handsome. And then maybe he would like back off. We would use our charm and our wit, not our violence.
Yeah, maybe.
I do. I think we could win over that monkey.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, I think we've come to the conclusion. We've come to the right conclusion. Is that the monkey's winning.
Oh, yeah.
I mean.
And is he going to get offended that we keep on calling him a monkey?
I do think there's a difference between a gorilla, silverback gorilla.
Yes.
I think they're like the the most aggressive, meanest ones.
Yeah.
But they're big. So, yeah, the stamina. I come back to the stamina. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Gorilla. You are not a monkey.
Right.
You are a gorilla.
Yeah.
Okay. Next hot topic. If you're still with us, we appreciate you because it's going to get better from here.
So much better.
So, we'll see if Jenny lets us post this episode. So, next hot topic. The Jeff Bezos Blue Origin space trip that Katy Perry and Gayle King, Amanda Nguyen, Carrie Ann Flynn, Lauren Sanchez, a bunch of women, an aerospace engineer, Aisha Bowie. They went on a space flight April 14th. It was an all-female crew. It was an 11-minute suborbital flight. Suborbital. The internationally recognized so I can't believe you weren't familiar with that. It's internationally recognized.
Okay.
Boundary of space, providing the crew with a few minutes of weightlessness before safely returning to Earth. During the flight, Katy Perry sang "What a Wonderful World" and held up the set list for her upcoming tour. While the flight was celebrated by some as a milestone for female representation in space tourism, it also faced criticism for being a publicity stunt lacking substantive contribution to space exploration or gender equality. In response, Perry discouraged in a lifetime emphasizing the importance of pursuing one's dreams despite public opinion. Yeah, and some of this I don't think was her fault. The media did get carried away with it, and I've watched some clips. They by no means are astronauts. Let's just get that right out of the way, out of the gate.
And I don't know how you can just take someone. Isn't there training that you have to do for this?
So, per usual, most of my knowledge comes from what I've seen on TV. Okay.
Okay, we know how that goes.
Most space movies I watch, you're going through like months of training. Like Howard Wolowitz from The Big Bang Theory, when he went up in space, he had to do a lot of survival training. Now, they didn't go to full space. So they just got weightlessness. But you would also...
this one, it wasn't full space.
No, it was the internationally recognized boundary of space.
Okay.
Suborbital.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to go weightless, but I don't think they were like in the galaxy or anything. Let's see what define suborbital. So I think it's like outside. Oh, it can't be right. Oh, relating to or denoting a trajectory that does not complete a full orbit of the Earth. So that should clarify things for you. So yeah, so like they...
So they did... Okay, I understand like, that they didn't go around.
Fully in space. They were just on the edge of space where you could go weightless. Okay. Like they couldn't stick their head out the window or anything. But they were only up there for 11 minutes.
So they went a little bit higher than an airplane, but not out in space. And
well, like I think they could see Earth.
Oh.
Like they were on like level 1 of like the 20-foot story, the 20 level story is what I think.
Okay.
Technically,
I can see the Earth too from an airplane.
No, you can't see that Earth is round.
Correct.
You can see Earth from an aerial view. It is not the same view that you see out of a spacecraft.
Okay.
I think it is the first step to tourism, as it says. I think that is space tourism. I think that within 5 years, that will be a ticket anyone, not just a celebrity, can pay for.
Yeah.
For 11 minutes. I think they spent like, how much did they spend? How much were the Blue Origin space tickets, Katy?
But I would want to be up there longer than 11 minutes.
I mean, would you? I mean, you're floating around. You got that weightlessness. I mean.
And then it's time to come back down. But I mean, like.
You're on there with 6 other people.
Yeah, I just don't know. Yeah.
So suborbital, oh God. Tickets for such suborbital flights typically range from $250,000 and $475,000.
Yeah, no, not for 11
For
minutes.
context, during Blue Origin's inaugural crewed flight in 2021, a seat was auctioned for $28 million. So, I mean, certain people are going to be able to pay for this.
Yeah.
To go up for 11. I'm just saying, I think you can do the same thing at
Could they
like
not?
Disney in a simulated, and that's what some
Yeah.
people think. Some people think they didn't really go up there. That's the discussion because
Yeah.
there's videos everywhere of their little pod landing and the door popped open from the inside, which it's not supposed to be able to do. So,
Pop open from the inside?
yeah, like you're not,
Like someone on the outside has to open
yeah,
it, or?
yeah, because there's so much suction from space that you have to make sure it is like secured. So, not just someone from the inside could open it.
Well, they weren't technically in space.
They were suctioned enough to where the space you got it. You can't let the outside air get in.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't let the outside air get in. So there was a video of that popping up from the inside, and then a bunch of people rushed to the door and they tried to shut it real fast, and then they made a big deal out of like cranking the front door open when it's like we all just saw it pop open. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's some thoughts that it didn't really happen because again, I do think you can get that simulation almost anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm all for the women empowerment, don't get me wrong. And it's very cool. It was all I think even the pilot was a woman.
I mean, that's cool, but I mean, is that
I don't know what you really did
for
for
empowerment?
women empowerment. You went and promoted your own tour, which good for you. You're very talented.
great.
I think that's fantastic.
But I wouldn't classify this
I
as
think that's where the media started running away with it, was that they were like, it's a giant step for women empowerment. You went on a rich man's spaceship. So
yeah.
a rich man let you go on that spaceship.
Yeah. So
I
I guess I'm sitting here and I'm wondering why it's such a big deal.
That they went, or that people
that everybody's making a big deal about it. I mean,
because I think the media, I didn't watch all of the interviews because I don't know if any of the actual ladies did. It's when they started referring to it as a space mission and started referring to them as astronauts. We just had two real astronauts stuck in space for 9 months. You want to talk about women empowerment? It would be that woman who was up there with that man for 9 months.
Oh my
Which I don't even want to get started on that. Talk about a new fear. Not like I was going into space, but talk about a new fear.
Oh yeah.
That's when I saw the media start turning on them. Yeah. I also do think the promotion of her tour is what got the media to turn specifically on Katy Perry.
Yeah.
And then I've heard the tour is not going well, but it's just hearsay, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, because I haven't heard much about this, but anything that I've heard about it, it has Katy Perry tied to it, not the other women that were involved with it. So
yeah. So while Katy Perry is not an astronaut in the traditional sense, having not undergone extensive training or participated in scientific missions, she has experienced space flight as a space tourist. And that's
tourist. I think that is a much better label.
Much better label. All female crew on the mission include journalist Gail King, aerospace engineer, a civil rights activist, a film producer, and pilot journalist. I thought Bezos' wife was on there too, because everyone was making a joke about that. Yeah. So that one's not as groundbreaking as the bear and gorilla, which we all know in Planet of the Apes. That is what starts the apes taking over. Yes. Which I don't think we need to get started on what the difference between an ape, a gorilla, and a monkey are. But they did put a monkey in space, and that is what started.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I posted the other day about a zoo transporting 2 silverback gorilla brothers, and they had to put them under sedation so they could medically check them out to make sure they they were healthy, to kind of get like a baseline report of their health, make sure they were healthy enough to be transported, and then kind of just make sure everything was good. So they had this giant silverback gorilla under sedation, and they had taped cloth over its claws. It legit looked like they just put boxing gloves on him. And I'm like, if this thing wakes up, he's going to take out all of these people in this room. So we were going to get a live version of the 100-man versus gorilla.
I mean, at least he wouldn't be able to grab anything, maybe. Because you could
True, but I don't know.
He could probably grab and just like crush your bones.
I think he could definitely crush because I don't think he has. Do they have sharp claws?
I mean,
I
I
don't
would assume.
feel
I
like
doubt they go in there and they get nice little pedicures all the time.
No, but I don't feel like they have like claws. All right, don't fail us, ChatGPT. Do gorillas have claws?
They're not necessarily claws, but they'll have like probably pretty good thick nails.
Claws. Like I agree with you. Like he could take you and crush you.
Yeah.
And I think like pick you up and throw you.
Yeah. So that would maybe.
But you gave him boxing gloves, so now it is like a legit. So he's swinging.
Yeah.
And I mean, any boxer getting hit, you got all that.
Yeah.
Okay, it went back to this matters with the gorilla versus man debate. So do gorillas have claws? No, they have fingernails and toenails just like humans.
Mm-hmm.
Gorillas are primates and share a lot of anatomical traits with us. Instead of claws, they have flat nails on their fingers and toes with opposable thumbs. Oh, I didn't think they had opposable thumbs.
I thought they did.
Maybe that's the difference between a gorilla and a monkey. Like, they got that long one, but I thought that was, like, the big difference that made them different than us, and they didn't have thumbs. So, gorilla doesn't need claws to be dangerous. Massive strength. They can deadlift 1,800 pounds.
Okay.
I mean, how much do 100 men have to weigh?
Yeah.
So, sorry, let me open it. 1,800 divided by 100. Oh, that would only be 18 pounds, men. Yeah, they could probably get through those pretty quick. Never mind.
What you were doing with the math.
Never mind.
I already knew what the answer was.
Okay, so the 100 men need to weigh more than 18 pounds. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would say what an average male should be maybe like 220, depending on like
220?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I like them tall.
Well, I like them tall. I won't say that. I like the height of 5'10". 5'10's a good height. That's what I like.
Yeah,
Cody goes, what would you do if I had a hairy chest? I'd be like, oh, you better hope you're 6'5" and named Travis Kelce. That's the only man with a hairy chest I've ever considered.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, back to the hard-hitting topic. So they have large canine teeth for biting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, yeah, like they're like there's overwhelming upper body strength, perfect for smashing, throwing, and grappling. And of course, there's sheer intimidation. So that's the thing too. You have to have 100 men who want to approach this thing. Yeah. So no claws, but they're not exactly lacking in the lethal weapon department. Lethal Weapon. Those are good movies.
The picture you were explaining with the hands being wrapped up, that eliminates quite a few things. They can't grab, they can't.
And then, I don't know if a monkey like knows punching. And I wonder like if that throws it off. If like, and it can't run. Like I think they still walk on their hands and stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, that thing's in waking up from anesthesia. We've all seen those videos. So imagine a very large animal waking up from anesthesia and then what it would do. So it still cause damage, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So according to NASA guidelines, absolutely not. Okay. So she is not an astronaut.
No.
Got it.
A space tourist is what it was.
Space tourist. Debate it like it's a serious issue. Is Katy Perry qualified to go to space? Could she sell a Martian mansion? Could she sell a Martian mansion before Elon does?
Probably not. I bet you Elon has already been communicating with them.
I do feel like someone somewhere, like they just dropped through that COVID time of like, oh, a lot of people are dying. By the way, aliens are real. And like no one really, I don't think anyone blinked an eye because I think everyone already knew they were. But the fact that the government actually admitted, I think it's silly to think that we are the only living beings.
Oh, no. I
think it's silly to think we're the most intellectual living beings.
Oh, no, we're not. I feel like we are like the game Sims. And they're up there and they have the control of us.
Control of us?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's how I look at it.
They're like, and they just like, oh, look what my character's not doing anything today.
Yeah. Look, my character needs to go for a walk or needs to go to the store. And,
my like, character's eating again.
That's how I think of it. Because like we really don't see them or, things like that. So they're just up there controlling us.
And they're like, they hit the button. They're like, make them hungry.
Yeah.
Make them sleep.
Mhm.
So what I think is
Yeah.
interesting, so if everyone's like history repeats itself and like they are bringing back like animals that were extinct, so like the
Mhm.
dire wolf thing.
Yeah.
I think, you know how like you have your favorite show and you just go through the seasons again and again?
Oh, yeah.
I think we get to a certain point to where humans destroy the world and then it just starts all over again. And I think aliens somewhere are checking in on us and they're like, oh, they're on season 250. They've not recreated dinosaurs yet.
Yeah.
Or, oh, this is my favorite season. This is where the asteroid comes again. Like,
Yeah.
I think it is all just a cycle. And
Mhm.
all of this that we think is brand new has happened before. I think that's where deja vu comes from.
Yes. Yes.
I think, I don't know if there's a bigger celestial alien being controlling it, but I definitely think there's something more advanced that can bounce between different timelines. So
Yeah.
either we're all in the same timeline and we're in different worlds, or
Yeah.
we're at different timelines and they can go back and be like, oh, I love this season. And it's like totally different timelines.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. That was good. That was a fun
Yeah.
one. That one wasn't even on the list.
It
But I
wasn't.
do like
Right.
ChatGPT question here to add a twist about the Katy Perry debate.
Yeah.
What would Jenny pack for space? So we all know sweatshirt. She'd be cold. And
Probably a
and alkaline water.
sweatshirt, her fleece lined leggings.
So yeah, stuff to keep her warm,
Mhm.
alkaline water, and probably her space heater. No pun intended.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work because I don't think you can have it plugged in because it'd just be like floating around. I think that would be a very big
They have,
fire
they
hazard.
have electric though because lights are on.
Yeah.
You can't have fire. There's no oxygen, so you can't have fire in space.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I guess in the ship you could. Okay,
Yeah.
so she went. Let's say she went. You can't have the space heater.
Okay. So clothes to keep her warm, her alkaline water, and
I think her computer, because I think she'd
her
still be
computer.
working.
She would still be trying to work
It'd
and
still be
complain that she can't get any
that there's not
internet
good
service.
Wi-Fi in space.
Yes, I think that would be it.
What would you pack for space?
Insulin,
Okay, well that's not a fun one.
Dexcom,
Okay.
or does diabetes not exist in space?
Oh, I think you have a lot more issues in space. I think you're still diabetic, and I think you've just added a new level of troubles for you.
Yeah, probably.
If
It'd
not,
be
I mean,
interesting to see how because actually probably none of my devices would work.
none of your devices would work, and I guarantee the food up there would not be. I'm not gonna lie, I think they would deny you on that space trip.
Oh yeah, I'll get denied on anything that I try to do. Give me dehydrated carrots and vegetables.
Like that's the thing. They're not gonna be able to give you protein and like non-sugar stuff. So let's pretend diabetes doesn't exist in space.
Okay, doesn't exist.
We're taking a girls' trip up to space. What are you taking?
Mick Ultra.
Okay,
Definitely.
should have known that one. Should have known that one.
Denny, would Denny be able to come with me?
I don't know. I was just thinking about my dogs.
Like, they wouldn't be able to fight because they'll be just so far like floating away from one another.
Well, if they grabbed one, where's she going to the bathroom?
Where's any of us going to the bathroom?
Well, we have the thought process of like, you go in this room and I think you like poop in a bag.
I just put a diaper on her.
Okay, I want to see that.
Put a Depends on her and cut the little hole out for her tail.
Denny, okay, that's a good one.
If I can't bring Denny.
Yeah, if you can't. Denny is her dog, by the way.
Yes.
So rescued from the War Humane Society.
Yes. Yes.
Super
cute. And we did a trend with her. We did the little spinny video.
We did do the spinny video.
Yeah.
She did great. Let's pretend like it's a legit, like if we were going on a road trip, you wouldn't bring Jenny. So if we're going on a road trip, you bring McUltra. So it's a road trip to space.
Road trip to space. Shoot, I don't know.
You got McUltra? That's all you need?
I think that's all I need. I mean, probably like a pretty cool camera or something to take pictures out the windows.
Yeah, you're a big fan of selfies when you're on trips.
Yeah, I know. So we'll have to get our selfies in there. And a koozie for my McUltra.
Okay. A koozie McUltra.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would Jenny pack for space? Would Megan try to sell lunar real estate? And who would cry first in zero gravity?
Megan would cry first.
Oh, I'm not going. I would deny this girl's trip.
Well, that is so rude.
I would deny this girl's trip. You don't want to go to space?
Okay.
I don't want to go to space.
Well, that's rude.
I don't
You're
think.
sending Jenny. You're sending me and Jenny to space.
Yeah, because you're brave, independent women. Someone's got to be here to take care of Earth things.
Okay.
Gonna take care of Earth things. You guys
Earth
go.
things.
Tell me how it is.
Uh-huh.
Let's make sure it's all been worked out. Yeah, I think the thought of just constantly floating.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that's like. I don't disagree that I'd be the first to cry, but it was a little rude how fast you answered that.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Okay, what was our next topic? Thank you for still being with us. It's already been 30 minutes. Let's would Megan try to reason with the bear? Okay, not to get all on the animals again, but a big one that has also, this one I remember going around. Someone had to tell me about the gorilla versus man one, and it was bear versus man in the woods. Women online, especially hikers and solo travelers all over TikTok, were saying, I'd feel safer running into a bear in the woods than a random man. And a lot of men had comments about this, per usual. So
it started out with man versus bear.
did it? Well, that was Bear Grylls, wasn't it?
And then
What was bear versus man?
That's what you said, wasn't it?
No, it's the gorilla versus 100 men.
Oh.
No, men had a lot to say about women saying they'd feel safer running into a bear than a man.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I think there was a show called Man versus Food. I don't know if there's one called Man versus Bear.
Oh.
So why this hits hard and true? Well, first of all, you're walking in the woods, lolly lolly. We're assuming you're all good with your insulin and diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather run into a bear in the woods or a random man?
Neither. But I have to choose one?
Correct.
Okay. Probably depends on how much Mick Ultra I've had on this.
Okay, so
hike.
you're going on a walk, and we already know you've had Mick Ultra. Okay. If you've had Mick Ultra, I'm saying for you, you need to run into a bear and not a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably.
I see the argument as to why you probably don't want to come across a bear. We're assuming in this situation, it's not a friendly bear, because sometimes I hear like they're really not. But
again, though, if you don't poke the bear,
this is what it says.
Like, can you just not walk away?
Yeah, as I say, from the woods, if I come across a bear, okay, a bear follows instincts. It's wild, but predictable, is what ChatGPT says. A strange man, unpredictable intentions. Women are taught to stay alert around unfamiliar men, especially in isolated areas. And statistics back it up. Women experience far more danger from men than wildlife when hiking solo. So it's statistically proven that women are more in danger around men than around wildlife when hiking solo.
Okay. Interesting.
Have either of you seen a bear? Which felt scary? What gear or precautions do you take when out on trails or back roads?
So, again, this is perfect for you. What precautions are you taking? Because you're getting ready to go to Yellowstone. Although you're not going to be alone. But
I'm not going to be alone. I would 100% rather see a bear than people.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to be close to him because I'm not even going to pretend like I'm going to be able to. My theory would be sacrificing the person who's close to me to get away because one of us has to get back home to the dogs, and I don't want it to lead to that. So I'm not going to pretend like I'd rather encounter a bear, but as a single woman walking around anywhere, I would rather need to be precautious around wildlife than run into a man in the woods.
Okay.
A, watch a lot of Dateline.
Uh-huh.
B, I know that man is going to do dumber stuff. Like I just said, bears have instincts. It's not to come up and try to rip off my pants. We're just going to put that out there. I don't know a lot of national documentaries. Was it like this bear then started unbuttoning this woman's blouse? Okay. ChatGPT has asked some great questions. So yeah, it says at least the bear doesn't catcall unless it's Yogi asking for a picnic basket. It says, would Megan try to reason with the bear? I do think I would. I'd
Yeah.
try to reason with the bear. And would Jenny try to sell it a cabin? And then which is worse? A bear, a man in camo whispering howdy. Well, first of all, any man whispering is a little alarming. Or someone offering unsolicited mushroom facts. I do think the man whispering howdy is going to be the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
In camo whispering howdy. So he's just like in a bush.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. The bear's going to just be going along with its day, foraging for food, looking for berries, climbing trees. Like it lives out in the woods. It's supposed to be out there.
Yeah. It's home.
What's that solo man doing? Is it already out here hiding a body? Is it out here looking for women?
Is it out there looking for the bear?
Is it out there looking for the bear? Then I don't trust a man who's out there looking for a bear. What do you want to do to that bear?
Probably hang it on the wall. I'll make a rug out of it.
Oh, yeah. They're probably hunting it.
Yeah.
So that's sad. I don't like any of that. So is that? Are we done talking about that? We'd rather run into a bear than a man?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, I feel like I would be able to defend myself more against a man than if a bear was like aggressively coming after me. I would be dead. But so
I don't disagree with that.
I feel like I would have more of a chance surviving
A man than a bear.
Than a bear, yes.
But I think the man would be more likely to approach me than a bear.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, in that sense, for sure. But
okay, so there's a quick which is worse wilderness edition.
Oh, okay.
Cue dramatic music. Dun dun dun. Which is worse, running into a bear in the woods or running into a man who says smile, sweetheart, and won't leave?
I mean, which is worse? Probably, yeah.
Anyone who tells you to smile is terrible.
Anyone. It doesn't have to be a
man, woman, coming from
anyone
the goodness
in
of your heart.
That says...
Anyone in the woods who says smile, sweetheart, and won't leave is terrible. But this also just says running into a man. If I don't know you, don't tell me to smile. Yeah. If you know me and I'm not smiling, also you should probably know not to tell me to smile. I had a teacher in high school walking through the hallways, and every time he saw me, he said, "Smile, Megan." I'm like, homie, you don't know what I got going on. First of all. Second of all, it is high school. No one should be happy to be here. You are not happy to be here, and you're getting paid. Don't tell me to smile. I'm headed to my next math class. Don't come at me. I'm like, that makes me not smile. And I think you look like a weirdo when you walk around constantly with just a smile on your face for no reason. So that was a trigger point for me. So immediately, anyone who tells you to smile. Okay, being chased by a raccoon on espresso or a guy who insists you manifested him on Hinge. Hinge is a dating app for those who don't know.
Okay. I guess a guy that, insists that I manifested him.
So again, the guy is worse.
Yeah. Why are these like the only two options?
So I did it.
Wildlife and something with a man.
So right after the man versus bear one, because it ended that scenario with which is worse, the guy whispering howdy or the unsolicited mushroom facts. I said come up with another list of which is worse items, and it just kept it on the man wilderness edition situation. So sleeping in a tent with a snake.
Ugh.
Getting trapped in a 3-hour conversation with a guy who just discovered crypto. I mean, that's unfortunate. I'm not
3-hour conversation.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping in a tent with a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Let me just sit there quiet and listen to you for 3 hours.
Yep. Your car breaks down in the middle of nowhere with no cell service. Whew. That gives me nightmares. A shirtless man named Tuck offers you a ride on his 4-wheeler. Why did they name him? And why is he shirtless?
Why does he have to be shirtless?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna depend on how many abs Tuck has. Okay, that shirt's off. How many abs you got, Tuck?
It's fine. I normally wear a tank top underneath my shirt, so I would offer him my shirt to put on so that he can take me back into town.
Oh, on his 4-wheeler.
Yeah. And it's a 4-wheeler. There's no doors. I'm not trapped on there. So if I need to jump off, I can jump off.
True. I like that you're not trapped. I don't like that Tuck is shirtless.
And I feel any kind of way I can just knock him on the back of the head, knock him off of the four-wheeler, and take off.
I don't have,
So-
But, like, what if he goes to a field? You don't know where you are. What if he pops around?
That's why you're always on defense.
So I have a head on. So, ooh, that's a tough one.
But yeah, no, I would do
Because
that.
if I'm broken down in the middle of nowhere with no cell service, there's a solid chance someone named Tuck is coming to find me anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I'm running into Tuck either way, probably.
Yeah.
How long's the four-wheeler ride? Am I waiting for an hour when the car breaks down, or can he get me somewhere in 5 minutes?
Yeah. So I would go with shirtless Tuck.
You'd go with shirtless Tuck?
I would.
I want to know what state I'm into. I think that matters.
Okay. What does that? Okay. What would that matter, Megan? Because we know how well you know your states.
I don't know where they are, but I want to know what state I'm in. I have my own
And why would that
judgment.
determine?
Because if it is
Florida versus Oklahoma.
Oh, I'd 100% go with shirtless Tuck in Florida before Oklahoma.
Okay.
For the simple fact that I just want to be at a beach. So there's a lot I would probably do to get to a beach. It is more realistic that Tuck is probably on bath salts in Florida. And he could just be a good old homeboy in Oklahoma. But Oklahoma, you probably also know how to skin things really fast.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of their skills.
Okay.
Seeing glowing eyes in the woods. Seeing your ex camping 20 feet away with someone who looks just like you. Which is worse?
Which would be worse? Well, I mean, I'm really in no danger with the ex camping 20 feet away from me.
What if the glowing eyes are a deer?
We don't know what the glowing eyes are.
Yeah, but we know what the X is.
That is true. We
know what the X is.
We know what the X is. Yeah. I mean, it might be a fun time having the ex camping so close with someone that looks like me. That could be a good time.
Because we already know you have my culture camping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're probably near an open flame, which I don't think is good for anyone. But you best believe after a few Mickeys that you are going over there saying, bro, she looks just like me.
Yeah. You know, just open up a conversation about it.
It could be fun for everyone else at that camping trip watching what's happening.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So last one, realizing you forgot your bug spray.
Okay.
Or realizing your Airbnb host lives in the basement and just wants to chat. The Airbnb host in the basement's way worse.
That'd be worse, but I think a lot of people do that though. Like they rent out part of their house for Airbnb and like live in another part of it.
Yeah, I'm not saying people don't do it. I'm saying that would be awful, and I would want to know that up front. Because if I just show up and homeboy's hanging out living in the basement, I'm going to be mad. And better not just say I want to chat.
Yeah. No, there's no reason for us to chat.
Yeah. Concurred. And then it says optional finest bonus round, which is worse, being mauled by a bear or trying to politely escape a man who calls his truck his queen and asks if you like brisket 8 times.
Well, I guess being mauled by a bear would be worse.
I'd ask homie.
Yeah.
I don't want to see what other OCD tendencies this guy has if he asked me 8 times if I like brisket.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
In fact, I do like brisket. So I would probably answer him the first time. So
I would take the brisket from truck guy. I would throw it at the bear to distract both of them because obviously truck guy's going to be very upset. I just wasted his brisket he asked me about. I'd smear it on his truck queen so he'd be all upset, and then the bear would come and attack the truck while I sneak away.
Yep. Good plan. Good plan. Although it doesn't say he has the brisket, just if you like brisket.
That is a flaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like those scenarios. God, ChatGPT comes up with some good ones. Yes. All right. Final talk. Diddy. Puff Daddy. Sean Diddy Combs is in court for his freak-off parties. Sounds like it is going not great for him. They are not letting cameras into the courtroom. They're just using drawings, and they have him real gray-headed in the drawings. real gray-headed and gray-bearded in the drawings is the first thing I noticed.
It's like awful sketching. Like you see sketches all the time from other like court cases and stuff, and they're just they're not
I want to
this
talk
quality. I'm pretty sure this is probably a no, I'm not gonna say that.
I think so. I've seen some drawn this way, and I think because it is such a high publicized case, I think they are somewhat distorted pictures on purpose. It probably also does depend on the artist, which I would love to talk to a court sketch artist.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have to have those if they don't have cameras in the court. Why not have cameras in the court and just not release them to the public? Like, just have court recordings for purposes.
Well, I don't understand why they're like trying to distort it. I mean, we know who's in the courtroom and who they are, so it's not like
and I don't know if that's judge preference. I don't know if it's lawyer preference. Like, I don't know that. I think that would be very fascinating to talk to a court stenographer, I think is what they're called, the shorthanded people. And I also think it'd be interesting to talk to a court artist.
Yeah, that would be.
But I don't think there's any way they could find him not guilty or give him a significant sentencing because of how publicized it is and everything that's coming out.
And how did they find the jurors to do this? That doesn't, because you want to find ones that don't know about the case.
They found shirtless Tuck on his four-wheeler and said,
that's probably what they did.
Have you heard of this? And shirtless Tuck is like, I just saved a girl on the side of the road. And they're like, we need you in this courtroom.
Yeah. Because I bet that would almost have to be like the hardest part of
I
it.
bet the prosecutors wanted a lot of women on that juror because it is not appealing to females, but you're going to find a lot of females who are going to side with him being in the wrong. I do not know how they found it. But here's the thing, like, we've heard about the freak-offs and we've seen the video of him beating his ex-girlfriend in that hallway, but they've also not shared a lot of information. Like, those are just the two main things we've still heard of. So what they are hearing in that courtroom is probably so more significant. It's just the fact of knowing, like, the celebrities you're seeing on there and, like, what you're hearing. Because what I don't think is going to happen is it's going to be released who's in those videos. Just like with the Epstein stuff, there is probably a same list. I bet it's a very similar crossover list, and it's not going to be, that won't ever be released.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think if he's sentenced, he will stay alive in jail? I honestly didn't think it would get this far to court.
Yeah.
I thought something would have happened to him beforehand.
I thought so too.
To him, or he did something to himself.
Yeah.
The judge did rule that he could wear his own clothes in court, which I thought that was pretty funny of what he's facing. They ruled that he could wear his own clothing instead of like court clothes.
Oh, like let him have a suit or whatever.
Let him have his own clothes.
Well, I think they typically do that.
I think they typically do too.
Like I remember,
but I don't know if
like the Casey Anthony case, she always had clothes on.
She always had clothes on, so it wasn't court clothes, but they said specifically like his clothes, so it's probably like high end clothes, not just like a suit someone got him.
Yeah.
I think it's like his high end suits.
Oh, okay.
Which I think that tells you right there that's pretty all right. Yeah. I don't think that really matters, and I wouldn't want to have something expensive flaunting.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he has a lot of money, so if he gets charged and
I don't think it'll be like a legit prison. That
I think it could be, but would he pay to be in like solitaire or whatever, where he is not around Gen Pop,
yeah,
at all, and that's how he serves out his time?
I am very surprised. Yeah, they've not let him like be out on bail. Like he's been in jail since they've raided his house.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty impressive.
I think that says a lot.
I think that says a lot. I think it is because he is capable of running, because he does have an extensive amount of people.
Yep.
I think for the witnesses, they should feel threatened because I think he has a history of that. I think he is probably safe in prison if it doesn't come out that he had anything to do with killing Tupac.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we know my feelings about this. And I don't know. I feel like there's going to be more things coming out than what we think.
In court, but I don't think it'll be released. Yeah. I don't think it'll be released.
I think more things are going to come out because people are now, I think now they don't have to be scared. or afraid.
Potentially, I think he's got a lot
Like
of people on
some of
the
the
outside.
victims, like more of his victims, not like his close friends
Yeah.
that are actually close friends. I don't think
Mhm.
they're going to say anything at all. But I think some of the victims are
Mhm.
now able to have their voice heard and not be scared. Maybe, maybe not.
Mhm.
So,
Because I don't know what he's for. It's for like racketeering, which I don't quite know what it is, and like sex trafficking.
mhm,
So if they have videos of other celebrities, it's not those other celebrities' trials, but like I'm very curious to see what names we know are going to get called to court
yeah,
and for what reason.
yeah.
Um. So yeah, I
Yeah,
am.
because I mean, I'm assuming if they're in the video, like in any evidence, pictures, videos, that they can be court ordered to come in.
Of like, yeah, you're on video. Did you participate in
Yeah.
this and all of that stuff? So I think that's what's going to be the next step of what's interesting.
Mhm.
I've not heard anything, and I think there's a reason for that. And I know why they're focusing on Cassie, his ex, so much up front because of the video, and like that's been the kind of the one that like started unraveling
Mhm.
this like
Yeah.
fully. I'm very, very curious because there's going to be a long list of videos that they're not going to release because they're going to be like, we're going to go after the ones we know we can get. So there's going to be a lot of people on there we
Yeah.
won't know about that won't get shared. But I
Yeah.
think they will have to come across some. There's going to be some famous people on those videos they're going to have to come across and have in court. I just think they are. I think that's what's going to be next.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'd be interesting because I'm sure they almost already have their list.
I think they have
And
to.
they
I think they have to
know.
turn it in. If they're like, jury, please welcome our next witness, and they're like, Tupac Shakur, and he's like, ah, and he's been hiding this whole time, and he's really alive.
That would be
You
pretty
know, talk
awesome.
about the ultimate mic drop.
Yeah.
He sat and waited all these years and was like, Jada Pinkett, what the F happened to you, first of all?
Mhm.
Second of all, Diddy, you done. And then you just drop a sick beat.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be pretty awesome. But yeah, I
That's what I'm
mean,
hoping
yeah,
for.
it'd just be interesting to see how long this trial goes because it's not going to be a short one.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I mean, I'm sure they have a pretty long list of people that they want to go interview or whatever.
Do you think they will call to the stands anyone from the Johnson Johnson oil company? Confirming
Maybe.
how much baby oil was actually ordered.
They might have to pull some records from that to see. And especially if he was like a sponsor for him or something.
I don't think he was a sponsor. You go back and like his first concert was
Yeah.
was sponsored by Baby Johnson Oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we all should have known.
Yeah. Should have known
We all
something
should
was
have known.
happening.
No one should be sponsored by baby oil as a grown man. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, oh, that was a fun one. Like I said, we'll get it up and we'll see if Jenny will let us keep it up. But I think we need some fun every once in a while. You know, we did real estate last week. We've had some really hard, tough, wonderful story discussions. You know, we needed this one. So
So we can wrap this back around to real estate. So what's going to happen to all of his properties?
well, they are probably in
Who's gonna get those
evidence.
to sell?
They are in evidence right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to read the listing description on some of those.
Yeah.
I wonder, I don't think the value would be decreased of them, but I bet a lot of his assets, I don't know how much money he had, but I also can't imagine how much this court is costing him.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep an eye out, and we'll come back and report on another episode of Hot Topics of what happened to Diddy's real estate.
Yes.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
We're going to have to keep an eye on that.
We will.
Great question.
Could you imagine being like the listing agent and just having so many people want to come and look at the house?
I mean, after it's no longer evidence, I'd be like, who's paying for this deep cleaning?
Yeah, that and
oh, watch out, it's slippery right there. Like I would say that all the time giving a tour.
Yeah.
Oh, it's slippery right there. Watch out.
The people would almost have to have like a pre-approval letter before they could even walk into the house. Because you would get so many people wanting just
as an agent, you always only want to show houses to people who are pre-approved, Alicia.
Yeah, I know.
Very smart.
That is very smart, but I'm just, yeah.
A lot of looky-loos. I don't think that's a house you do an open house on.
Yeah.
Also, in that vibe, like I think they have their own system of how they sell houses in that price range and world.
Yeah, probably. It'll be interesting to see
It'd be
how
very interesting. Alrighty, well, thank you so much for listening today. Be sure to follow us and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Stay connected with us on social media. We want to hear from you and let us know what you have learned from today's episode. Give us your input of what you would choose. Use hashtag #KickItUpANotchPodcast. And until next time, let's all keep working together to kick it up a notch in everything that we do. Bye.
Kick It Up a Notch is all about real talk and real stories, but we're not doctors, lawyers, financial advisors, or therapists. We're just two business owners having fun, sharing experiences, and hopefully sparking some inspiration. So don't take anything we say as professional advice. Always do your research and consult the experts when needed. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Kick It Up a Notch. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Until next time, keep reaching higher and kicking it up a notch.